What's up everyone, Scotty from Chernobyl Studios, and today I've got a banger of a video because finally I got myself a real amp. So this is the ENGL E606 Ironball 20 SE Special Edition. Special Edition noting all these extra knobs and things like that. It's 2 channels, 20 watts. The power tubes are EL84s and the preamp tubes are AX7s. There's a lot of cool stuff on this thing. I could make a 40-minute video talking about this, telling you what everything does, but I think that'd be rather boring because you can go to the store page and read all the specifications. I think it's way more important to answer the question of if this thing sounds any good, if this thing is any good at all, and talk more about why something like this will be important to someone who's into silent recording or looking to get started with hybrid recording. So let's listen to this bad boy in a full-up mixed demonstration with quad track guitars and doubled leads. All right, let's have a listen. So here's the mix of the song that you just heard. It's called Distance of Longing. It's a song that I wrote for my beautiful wife, Stacy, and I re-recorded it with this ENGL because it's awesome. So as you can see here, it's 4 quad track guitars and 2 lead guitars. And basically what I did was nothing out of the ordinary. I took 2 pairs of guitars. I have a different set of IRs. With the second pair of guitars, I have a different set of IRs. So these are the official Celestion Plus ENGL IRs. And basically I've got a SM57 with a 121 here, and then I've got a 421 with a 120 here, and then different blends. And it's very important when you're doing quad track guitars like that to have different sounds so that when they blend together, they can sort of mask some of the crappy frequencies. and create a fuller tone overall. Now, when it comes to processing, it's literally the same. Like, if you're in Guitar Tone Mastery and you've seen these videos before from me, it's literally the same. I don't do anything different. So I just bring up the EQ, I find what I need to take out, and that's literally all there is to it. I can actually solo this. So this is the final tone that I came up with for the rhythms. And in the mix, they sit perfectly in the mix, right? I know what you might be thinking, like, okay, Scott, yeah, let's hear the tone without the processing. That's not a problem. It's going to be nearly the same. So the tone is practically identical. All I'm really doing is cleaning it up, but I do my API thing, that's where I get basically my particular sound that I'm fond of. The ENGL makes it far easier, and a real ENGL makes it even easier because I don't have some of the digital harshness to work against with some of the amp simulators. So this is I'll just turn the EQ stuff on as we're playing. Now the API is where a lot of the magic happens. Let me show you what I mean. So all I was really doing with the API is I just want to kind of, it sounded like there was like a pillow on the guitar tone a little bit, and I just wanted the tone to cut through even more in the mix. And that's all I'm really doing there. Now I'm using Track Spacer to sort of create space because it's side chained to the lead guitars because there's so much stuff going on all the time that this little plugin helps just automatically create space without having to do insane amounts of automation. And that's pretty much all the rhythm guitars are. The lead guitars are like this. I used the delay function on the amp itself, so there's no delay plugin or anything like that. I recorded wet with delay right into the DAW. By the way, the rhythm guitars are my Junior V in drop B, and you can hear every single note. That's why I love ENGL so much. Every single note is articulated. And then the lead guitars are my Junior V in standard E. So it's a great way to differentiate the rhythm guitar tones and lead guitar tones when you can use both different IRs and a different guitar. And I even used a different pick for the lead tones, so the attack was even a little bit different. All these small differences matter when you're trying to create big epic sounding mixes. And it's very much the same. I have EQ. We don't need to have the lead guitars taking a lot of mid information. That's what everything else is for. And then again, a character EQ that I'm doing here. Just slightly bumping up the high end a little bit, and then L1. And that's literally it. So it's quite literally the same exact process that I would do for an amp simulator. And like I say, if you're in Guitar Tone Mastery, you already know the process. So that's what it sounds like in the mix. This is just a quick breakdown of what I did with the guitars in the mix. Let's actually look a bit more closely now at the amp and talk a bit more about the features and build a guitar tone from scratch. Okay, so now that we have talked about the amp a little bit, let's see what this thing sounds like. And I'm just going to zero everything here so we can have to a nice starting point. I am using my BC Rich War Beast with EMGs in it, and that's what I'm going to use the demo. For the demo song, I used my BC Rich Junior V in drop B with just some stock pickups. So we're looking right at here. So the Ironball SE Special Edition means that it comes with all these extra features here, to include the IR loader and such on the back, which we're going to go over here in a second. But all of these switches here are MIDI configurable, so if I were to press one of them, it goes back to the upright position, because this is not necessary for you to come up to the amp and actually press it. You can just do that. All right, so we are on the clean channel right now. Let's put in some gain. There we are, so sounds like a clean tone. Crystal clear. One thing to be reminded of is that this tone stack is shared between the lead and the clean channel, so you can't have two separate tone stacks. But that's basically it. But since we're on the clean channel, let's check out the delay and the reverb, which both sound quite nice. So the delay is really quite nice. It's not too digital or artifacty sounding. It's quite usable. Same with the reverb. So these, having a very usable delay and reverb right built into the amp means that these are two pedals that you can remove from your pedal board and save space and be a bit more economical with what you're having to gig around, like if you're going to gigs and things like that. Next we have the master volume button, which just kicks in another bit of volume, pretty self-explanatory. Now on the bottom here we've got the noise gate. The noise gate does not work with the clean channel, so let's kick in the lead like that. You'll see the noise gate will pop on. And we don't have a lot of gain going on right now, so we're not really going to have hissing, but it's a fantastic gate. Actually, you can get pretty choppy with it. It grabs quite nicely, and you can obviously change how the gate works on the back of the amp. The same with delay and reverb. You can change the frequency, excuse me, not the frequency. You can change, you know, the length and how the delay works and all these things on the back of the amp right back here. In addition to having the lead and the master boost, we have a gain boost, a lead boost, which is exactly what it sounds like. Definitely kicks in a bit more saturation, things like that. I tend to like the amp the way that it is like this. I turn the master volume button off, and I don't have the lead boost. And I get something like that. So even at stock settings, with everything straight down the middle, we have a great sound. Now, there are 3 built-in IRs that come loaded with the amp. We can change it on the back of the amp, which I will do right now. So 3 different flavors you can start playing with right away. I'm a fan of the one in the 3rd position, which is the XXL with the V30s in it. I just like that one the best. It's usually my starting point. So that's literally quite all there is to it. Let's just, since we're here, let's go ahead and build the tone real quick. Yeah, so there's really nothing that really needs to be said here other than this amp absolutely kicks ass. It sounds fantastic, punches a way higher than what you might think for just being 20 watts. And, you know, it's really fantastic that I can just plug in XLR right to my interface, turn the power soak off, and I can connect straight to the computer, which means, yes, I can use third-party IRs. So if we go into Cubase here, and we load a, for example, it's already here, Ignite Libra with just one of the official Celestion ENGL XXL cabs. Now the thing that we have to do before we can use this particular IR is that we need to disable the IR loader in the amp. And it's really easy to do. We just go to the FX loop lever right here and we hold it down. And when it flashes 3 times, the IR loader has been completely bypassed and disabled. And it should sound like it, which it does. So let's go ahead and enable our Libra now. There we go. Now we're playing with the IR within Cubase. awesome. So with this Ironball SE from ENGL, it's very easy to get started using a hybrid system where you have a real amp and you're plugging in into the computer without needing anything else. You don't need a load box to even do this. You just use the amp, you bypass the IR loader, and you go straight into your interface and get the computer, and that's it. It couldn't be any more simple than that. So we've had a listen to this thing in a mix. We've looked at it individually. We've had, you know, a quick breakdown of how I created the tone, which is exactly the same process that I would use with Guitar Tone Mastery. If you're not sure what Guitar Tone Mastery is, it's my premium guitar training tone crafting course from A to Z. You know, I show you guys how to do all that. Link is down below. Go check that out. But I really just want to say thank you to ENGL and Jorgen for sending this to me. I'm a huge fan of ENGL, and it's a huge honor for me to be able to represent this product of theirs on my channel. It's sort of like a dream come true for me. So a big thank you to ENGL. But most importantly, it sounds amazing. And that is more important than anything else. This amp sounds amazing. It's fantastic. And I really want to say that if you're looking to get into the hybrid system of things, where using a real amp into the computer, it couldn't be any easier than this. You don't need a load box. You don't need anything else. You plug into the amp, XLR into your interface, disable the IR loader, and bam, you're in your DAW and you can use whatever IR you want with an analog sound. It's just, it couldn't be any easier, and I'm just absolutely blown away at this. And I think this is really going to be the future where amps start moving towards, where people can have their real amp, but also have the ability to go into the computer more in a much more easy fashion than maybe someone who can't get the amp plus the load box and other things like that. So really impressed, and it sounds great. So if you go on Toming and you check it out online, it's about $1,400, $1,500, which is a fantastic price for everything that you get. It's built like a tank. I mean, classic ENGL design, classic German quality. Really can't go wrong. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Once again, thank you to ENGL and all the guys over there. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.